మప్పులో దాగిన వాన చినుకులుగా జారుకుంటూ ఎండి మప్పులో ఒదిగిన వెన్నెల తునకలుగా తడుకుమంటూ ఎండు మప్పులో దాగిన వాన చినుకులుగా జారుకుంటూ సిరిమూపల తప్పులన్నీ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ను చేరుకుంటే ఆనందము సాగరాలి మా మదిలో పొంగుతుంటే సిరిమల్లితో సిరిలోన చిగురించే మంచు ముత్యము మా మనసై పరిమళించి అందరినీ స్వాగతించి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ విస్టమ్ డిన్నర్ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ జోషికి వేదిక శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ విస్టమ్ డిన్నర్ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ జోషికి వేదిక శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఎండి మప్పులో ఒదిగిన వెన్నెల తునకలుగా తడుకుమంటూ ఎండు మప్పులో దాగిన వాన చినుకులుగా జారుకుంటూ ఎండి మప్పులో ఒదిగిన వెన్నెల తునకలుగా తడుకుమంటూ ఎండు మప్పులో దాగిన వాన చినుకులుగా జారుకుంటూ మంచితనాలు మాలో పెంచే ధన్యభూమి స్థలము భావి ప్రగతికి బాటలు వేసే పుణ్యభూమి ఈ పురము ఈ పురములో ఈ నందనం మా చదువులమ్మ ఒడిగా ఈ వేళలో మీ రాక మాకు ఆ తల్లి ఆశీసుగా వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ విస్టమ్ డిన్నర్ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ జోషికి వేదిక శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ విస్టమ్ డిన్నర్ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఆ జోషికి వేదిక శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ వి వెల్కమ్ యూ టు శ్రీ ప్రకాష్
Namaste to one of our present here. I'm Srinayo, really, I'm very glad to invite you all to the 75th Independence Day celebration at Sri Prakash Educational Institution. As we the Indians celebrating 75th Independence Day, this is also known as the Diamond Jubilee. All these years, India has advanced in all the fields and made its contributions in many fields like yoga, space science and technology. I am highly glad to announce that Professor M. Naidu, Honorable Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu, have finally ascended to grace this occasion as Chief Guest and Guest of Honor. We also acknowledge the gracious presence of High Court Advocate Sri Ramaswamy and Sri High Court Advocate. I deem it my privilege to request Chief Guest of the Day, Dama Seshadri Naidu, to hoist the national flag and do the honors. And then request the other guests to join through. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. India's heritage is classical dance, the important cultural trait that helps people connect. We do hope that you enjoy the upcoming performance that showcases one of India's oldest classical dance forms. My friend Ananya Rao presents a Bharatanatyam rendition.
नमो भारताम्बे नमो
नमो नमो भारताम्बे सारस्वत शरीरिणी नमोस्तु जगतां वन्द्ये ब्रह्मविद्या प्रकाशिनी नमो नमो भारताम्बे हिमालय किरीटिनी गङ्गाद्या सरित सर्वस्तन्यं ते विश्वपावनी नमो 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 भारताम्बे नमो नमो भारताम्बे नमो 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 गमपनी
मग मग ग ग
गमपनी
pani samade gapa ma pa ga ma sa ni sa pani asani pani pa ma pa ma ge
नमो भारताम्बे नमो नमो भारताम्बे
यतिलोक पदन्यास पवित्रीकृत पांसवे नमोस्त जगतां धात्री मोक्षमार्गैक सेतवे नमो भारताम्बे नमो नमो
Echinacea originated from India, whose immunity strengthens mothers and builds good health. It is practiced all over the world for peace and prosperity. Yoga is not just an exercise, it's a way of life. Here, a sneak peek into this ideal way of living.
కటాహ సంభ్రమ భ్రమనిలింప నిర్ఝరీ విలోల వీచి వల్లరీ విరాజమాన బోధరీ ఠగట్టగచ్చులల్లాట పావతే కిశోర చంద్రశేఖరే రచి ప్రతిక్షణం మమ సంతతి ప్రమోదమాన మానసే కృపాకటాశ ధోరణి నిరుద్ధ దుర్ధరాపతి క్వచిత్ కంబరే మనో వినోదమేతు వస్తుని జటాభుజంగ పింగళ స్ఫురత్వరామణి ప్రభా కదంబ కుంకుమద్రవ ప్రలిప్త దిగ్వగూముఖే మకాండ సింధురస్ఫురత్వ ఉత్తరీయ మేధురే మనో వినోదమద్భుతం బిభర్తు భూత భర్తరీ राजमालयानि बद्धजातचूतक श्रियै चिराय जायतां चकोरबन्धुशेखरः ललाटचक्रज्वलद्धनञ्जयस्फुलिङ्गपाणि पीतपञ्चसायकं भमन्निलिम्पनायकं सुधामयूखलेखया विराजमानशेखरं महाकपालि सम्पदे शिरोजकालमस्तु कराल भाल पंडिका धगत 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 ज्वलन धनंजयाहुतीकृत प्रचंड पंचसायके धराधरेन्द्र रंगिनी कुचाल चित्रपत्र प्रकल्पनैक शिल्पिनी त्रिलोचने रतिर्मम नवीन मेघ मंडली निरुद्ध दुर्धर स्फुर कुहूनि शीतिनी तमः प्रबंध बद्ध कंधर निलिम्प निर्झरीधर तनोतु कृति सिंधुर कलानिधान बंधुर श्रियं जगद्गुरुधर पंकज प्रपंच कालिम प्रभावलंबि कंठ कंदली रुचि प्रबद्ध कंधरं स्मरच्छिदं पुरच्छिदं भवच्छिदं मखच्छिदं गजच्छिदान्धकच्छिदं तमन्तकच्छिदं भजे अखल्व सर्व मंगला कला कदम्ब मंजरी रस प्रवाह माधुरी विजृंभणा मधुव्रतं स्मरातकं पुरातकं भवातकं मघातकं गजातकान्तकान्तकं तमन्तकान्तकं भजे
India is the largest democracy in the world that has a civilization that is more than 50,000 years old and boasts of multiple cultural origins. We Indians can take pride in the fact that some of the most well-known personalities of the world have been influenced by India. Let us witness our places with the most famous literature and Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore as he shows you India Sri Gurudev died.
আসে তবে একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে
India has a real sense of nationalism. From my childhood, I had been taught that the idolatry of nation is almost better than reverence for God and humanity. India is one of the oldest civilizations in the world, spanning a period of more than 4,000 years and witnessing the fusion of several customs and traditions which are reflective of rich culture and heritage of the country. The East, in fact, is attempting to take its history, which is not the outcome of its own living. Japan, for example, thinks she is getting powerful through adopting Western methods, but exhausted her inheritance. Only borrowed weapons of civilization will remain to her. The great land of our nation, its bountiful nature, its diverse culture, and its spirituality inspired me to compose our national anthem, Jana Jana Mana Adinayaka Jaya He. I bow my head in respect and fondness to my motherland. Jai Hind!
Adorning the stage next is an American activist who fought against apartheid, Nobel laureate Martin Luther King Jr. He is here to share his fondness for India. Lakshman swears by his call, I have a dream.
Non-violence is more than simply agreeing that you won't physically attack your enemies. Mahatma Gandhi referred to this form of non-violence as satyagraha, meaning truth force or love force. It reminds me of the biblical appeal of Jesus to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is in the agreement with the Gandhian method of non-violence. It was one of the most potent weapons available to oppressed people in their struggle for freedom. During 1955-56, the bus system in Montgomery, Alabama was segregated. African Americans were forced to ride at the back of the bus. I was already familiar with peaceful civil disobedience and I liked Mahatma Gandhi's ideals. I put these ideals or principles to use. To protest, we organized a boycott. For over a year, African Americans refused to ride on Montgomery buses. The Supreme Court gave the decision in our favor. Our success meant that Christ showed us the way and Gandhi in India showed it could work. I salute to the great land called India that has produced great men as the Mahatma. Long live the spirit of India.
The next personality voicing his admiration for India is the spiritual leader and the political head of Tibet. Please bow your head in reverence for His Holiness Dalai Lama, played by Shravan.
Dear brothers and sisters, I have been living in exile since 1959 in India. When the enemy of my people want to capture me and make me a tool of subjugation, I escaped to India. No other country would accept India. That is because I am not the first person or the last one to find a safe haven in this ancient land. India had provided shelter to humanity escaping tyranny for more than 2 millennia. India is the spiritual master and Tibet its disciple. India may not be the first country to establish democracy, but the values have been in Indian society and culture since ancient times. In the turbulent modernity that the world is so eagerly embracing, only India can lead the world into spiritual redemption. No other countries would risk so much of theirs to let a small group of refugees to live freely as India. It's not something I am saying out of gratitude or a sense of debt, but the truth. India, thank you for extending this hand of compassion. Long live the land of spirituality.
A famous German physicist proposed the theory of relativity. Others related to him as he played the part of this famous Nobel laureate, Albert Einstein.
I am here to express my deep insight and bonding that I had with India during 1924. The golden age of India when C.V. Raman won the Nobel Prize and Meghnad Saha considered the father of nuclear science. His work was on radiation in stars, which was popular in those days. Though I was not directly associated with them, I helped Satyendranath Bose to publish his papers on elementary particles such as photon in German physics journal. It was a matter of great joy to be engaged with India's political class by exchanging postcards with Gandhi and Nehru on Satyagraha. My longest engagement was with Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore, called him Rabbi, Hebrew for teacher during 1930. Today, scientists from India are engaging themselves with my ideas and formulating debates on what gravity means. I see this as a true nature of people and salute them for their rational thinking. The greatness of India is in the discovery of zero. We owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. Glory to science and glory to this scientific nation.
Shruti looks convincing in the role as Aung San Suu Kyi, a politician from Myanmar and a champion of democracy.
Hello from Aung San Suu Kyi. Today I will share some of my memories of my early years in India. India is not just a neighboring country to me, but something close to home. I spent my teen years in India when my mother was posted as an ambassador. As a student of politics in Delhi University, I was able to broaden my horizons in that sphere, which would be the foundation on which I stand today. The final push for India's independence came from Burma, which eventually led to liberation of India. It was the fiery speech given by Subhash Chandra Bose in 1944, "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom," that inspired thousands of Indians in Burma to join the Indian National Army. Subhash Chandra Bose was also a friend of my father, Aung San. Like Bose, my father was also the man behind my nation's liberation from colonial rule. India and Burma both received independence around at the same time, but I admire how India has been able to hold on to her own and make a mark in this world. This is something I want for my nation too. My years in India has brought me an ocean of knowledge that I stand by even today. Amongst the political turmoil in my home country, my time in India has laid the foundation of the person I am today. Long live the spirit of independence.
Let us watch Pandana get into the shoes of Nelson Mandela, an anti-apartheid revolutionary and statesman who served as the president of South Africa.
Amandla, 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 Amandla. I first visited India in 1990 when I was released from jail after more than 27 years for leading the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. Soon after my release, the government of India had honored me with Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian honor. I bow to India for recognizing the men of substance from all around the world. I considered my visit to India as a pilgrimage. India is a land of ideals and values. I referred to Gandhiji as my role model and was inspired by him to lead South Africa's journey to independence, and I referred sometimes as Gandhi of South Africa. The further Indians who studied with me law at Johannesburg are one way responsible for my career. They also shaped me as a charismatic leader. They are Ismail Mir, Jayan Singh, Ahmed Bulla, and Ramlal Bhulia. During my presidency, I developed strong relations with India in both political and apolitical terms. India deserves a place amongst the closest allies to the abolishment of apartheid, making South Africa undeniable and immeasurable. I would like to conclude it is better to lead from behind and put others in front, especially when we celebrate victory when nice things occur. We take a front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate our leadership. Long live India!
From the hills of Missouri hails a renowned Indian writer of British descent. Today, Seshadri gets into the skin of Ruskin Bond, one of the most celebrated and loved authors of children's books in India. The song Book of India marks 70 years of his writing career. It begins like this. I'll sing you a song of India, son of this golden land.
I'll sing you the song of Hindustan, with the big cats roam and the peacocks dance. Thank you, my dear. I'll take on from here. I wrote this poem at the age of 16 when I was leaving India on the ship. I stayed in England for 4 years. Gurudev, Rabindranath Tagore's works, convinced me to go to India and make a writing career. With a great difficulty, I caught hold of the collected plays and poems of Rabindranath Tagore. I read them one by one, the post office, the red oleanders, etc. They brought me close to India. The first 20 years of my life, I groomed myself to be a good writer as I was a voracious reader. I had a lonely childhood, but I found solace in reading books. Even though my forefathers were British, Britain was not my real place. My heart belongs to India. I connected to the peepal trees, mango groves, rather than the strawberry farms in Britain. I connected to the sleepy little towns all over India. The hot sunshine, muddy canals, the pungent smell of marigold and hills. I love India because that's where I was born and grew up. I want to be reborn in India and nowhere else and be a writer. I am proud to be an Indian.
Chief and Kuva Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, is played by Andresh, who too believes in the tagline, think different.
My experiential prajna, wisdom or cognitive understanding and concentration of mind was my greatest learning from India. This changed me into a visionary and more focused individual. During my visit, I understood that people of India did not use intellect as the Western countries, but they were strong with their intuition. Intuition is more powerful than intellect for them. That has had a big impact on my work. I embraced Buddhism, the intuition and experiential wisdom that was in Indian villages was far greater due to their capabilities for rational thinking. I admired Mahatma Gandhi all the more after my visit. Apple's Think Different campaign, which featured his personal ideals, was included in the year 1997. India managed to change my perspective towards the world. I understood the harsh truth of the world. This hardened my personality, resulting to laying the foundation of Apple Incorporation, the endeavor to shape Apple into what it is today. Carry on the rich legacy of innovations.
And Shri K.C. Chidambaram, Advocate of High Court of Andhra Pradesh and Member of Bar Council, to adorn the stage. Could you please, sir? Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu was born on 19 June 1962 to late Sri Narayana Swami Naidu and late Srimati Lakshmamma at Chakalakutta. A hamlet taken from Tirupati, the holy pilgrim town Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. He did his graduation from Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. Later he obtained law degree from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. Thereafter he got enrolled as a bar counsel of Andhra Pradesh in March 1997. To gain his court experience, initially he established his practice in Tirupati. Later Dama shifted practice in early 2000s to Hyderabad. He started practice in the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, as well as the civil and criminal court in the city. Sir represented many corporate entities in nationalized banks, apart from private clients and picking up practice in all branches of law, using New Succession Act 1956 and Negotiable Instrument Act 1885. He is Indian Constitutional Law 7th edition 2017. Today we are highly privileged to have the elegant presence of Honorable Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu to ignite it. We extend a hearty welcome to Sri Prakash Educational Institution, sir. Thank you. I am very glad to introduce an academician, researcher, administrator, philanthropist, and the recipient of many national and international titles. He has a teaching and research experience spanning over 30 years in engineering and management studies, and with an exposure to different work-life environments like administration, research, public, and community service. I am highly glad to request Professor M. Naidu to deliver his speech. Sir, will you please, sir?
Justice Seshadri Naidu, Dama Seshadri Naidu, did Bombay High Court. So I am expressing that point, Bombay. My good friend Prakash, another good friend, Seshadri, senior advocate, Andhra Pradesh High Court. Both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana High Court. And great founder of this institution, Sri Narasimha Rao garu, Srimati Sita Rama garu, Ramchandra. అమ్మ మీ పేరు ఎందుకు నాకు జ్ఞాపకం అంటే సీతారాం ఉంది రామరామన్ ఉంది మరి రెండు కలిసిన పేరు చాలా తక్కువ అనుకుంటారు అందుకని ఎక్కువ నాకు జ్ఞాపకం వాళ్ళ పేరు అసలు మనం సీతారామ రామచంద్ర అనుకుంటారు మొదటి రామచంద్ర గారు మై డియర్ టీచర్స్ స్టూడెంట్స్ members of the press, at the outset I would like to thank Justice Seshadri Naidu garu for accepting, for obliging my request to participate in these independent day celebrations here at the Hyderabad. So thank you very much. Justice Seshadri Naidu garu has been working, earlier Rajasthan told us, Bombay High Court. మీకు ముందే చెప్పండి బాంబేని స్ట్రెస్ చేస్తున్నాను ఎందుకు అంటే ఇండియాలో బాంబే హైకోర్ట్ ఇస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఓల్డెస్ట్ హైకోర్ట్స్ అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ ఇట్ కాంట్రిబ్యూటెడ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ చీఫ్ జడ్జెస్ టు సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఇట్ హస్ గాట్ సో మెనీ స్పెషాలిటీస్ సో వర్కింగ్ దేర్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఎ స్మాల్ థింగ్ ఇట్స్ ఎ గ్రేట్ ప్రివిలేజ్ అండ్ ఐ గివ్ టు దిస్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్ దట్ ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్. And the second question is, why I prefer this interaction of teachers and students with Seshadri Naidu. So So I will just answer these few questions, then we will understand why actually we invited him. Sri Prakash, all of you know, is an education institution which imparts value-based education. It always aims at making children responsible and ideal citizens. And all of you know that is actually Sri Prakash is known for organizing knowledgeable, well thought out program with intellectuals of highest integrity and honesty like Seshadri Naidu. Sir, Sri Prakash teachers and students, they enjoy a very, very credible reputation of being highly disciplined, highly informed because of its management. Management has inherited its values and principles from none other than founder of this institution, Narasimha Rao garu. Most of you know about him. In fact, earlier, Narasimha Rao garu was a class 1 contractor and he was earning a lot, but he didn't like the practice of corruption in that field. So immediately, he just came out of the business and he started these institutions. Sir, we have mentioned this, sir. మీరు ఆ మంచి పని చేయడం వల్ల ఇంతమంది స్టూడెంట్స్ తయారు చేస్తున్నారు. శ్రీ ప్రకాష్ చెప్తే దానికి ఒక స్పెషల్ లెటర్ గాట్ స్పెషల్ రికగ్నిషన్. అమ్మ మీరు ఎవరు చెప్పట్లే కొట్టద్దమ్మా ఆ సార్ మాట్లాడి కొట్టండి. నెక్స్ట్ ఈజ్ another important thing is why we actually prefer this interaction of teachers and students with Naidu, Seshadri Naidu garu. That I have clarified. See, మీకు తెలుసు తెలీదు, always everyone and every day we say that students should become great intellectuals, great scholars, they should become honest persons. But interesting thing is that sounds like only ideological theory. అవ్వాలి ఎలా ఉంటుందో చెప్పండి. చెప్పండి, unless they see and interact with such people like Seshadri Naidu garu, how can they become intellectuals? How can they become honest people? మీరు చూడండి, మనం చెప్తున్నారు మన వాళ్ళు రెండు మంచి పనులు చేస్తే స్వర్గానికి వెళ్తారా అంటారు. మంచిదే, కానీ ఎవరు చూడండి స్వర్గం నరకం గురించి ఎప్పుడు మనం వీటికి సీరియస్ థాట్ స్వర్గానికి వెళ్తాం నరకంటే భయపడం కూడా. ఎందుకు భయపడం అంటే స్వర్గానికి వెళ్తామని చెప్పిన వాళ్ళు ఎవరు కూడా స్వర్గానికి వెళ్ళి రాలేదు. ఎవరైనా వెళ్ళి వచ్చుంటే ఆ స్వర్గం ఇలా ఉంటుంది అనుకోండి. సో అందువల్ల కొంత సీరియస్ థాట్ ఇవ్వమ్మా. అందుకనే పిల్లలకి ఇటువంటి గొప్ప వాళ్ళు చూపిస్తే సర్కిల్ ఏంటంటే దే మీట్ అవర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్స్, వాళ్ళు తప్పకుండా గొప్ప వాళ్ళు అవుతారు. ఇక రెండోది ఎందుకంటే నాయుడు గారు ఎంత ఇబ్బంది పెట్టారు మీకు తెలియదు. ఇప్పుడు ఇమీడియట్ ఫస్ట్ వైజాగ్ అక్కడ ఇంకో జడ్జెస్ ఉన్నారు, వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నారు ఆయన కోసం. బట్ ఎందుకు ప్రెజరైజ్ చేశారంటే మీకు ఒక్కటే, ఈరోజు ఇండిపెండెన్స్ డే. బికాస్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ డే ఇస్ ఆల్వేస్ ది టాక్ ఆఫ్ ఫిజికల్ ఫ్రీడమ్, బట్ వీ నెవర్ టాక్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. పిల్లలకి అంటే నేను పేరెంట్స్ ముఖ్యంగా పిల్లలకి ఈరోజు టుడేస్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ డే దేర్ ఇస్ నో వాట్ ఇస్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ చెప్పాలి అంటే ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు తెలవాలి. నాకు as far as my knowledge is concerned, only one class in the society has got the freedom of mind. That is nothing but judiciary. It doesn't mean that everyone would exercise that freedom. Every judges don't think every judge would exercise. But whoever exercises that freedom, they excel in that field. Like Seshadri Naidu. ఎందుకంటే ఈరోజు పిల్లలకు మనం ఎంత ఫ్రీడమ్ వస్తుందో మీకు తెలుసు. We don't give any freedom. We decide everything. We decide what to study, how to study, when to study, where to study, everything మనం decide చేస్తాం. సో ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ అనేది వాళ్ళకి అర్థం కావాలంటే ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ మనం జడ్జెస్ జడ్జెస్ వాళ్ళు చూస్తే దే విల్ అండర్స్టాండ్ వాట్ ఇస్ దట్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. మీకు ఎందుకంటే మీరు ఎక్కడ చూడండి ఎవ్రీవేర్ యు టేక్ గాంధీ ఒకటే అంటారు ఎప్పుడు కూడా, యూ కెన్ టైల్ మీ, యూ కెన్ టార్చర్ మీ, యూ కెన్ డిస్ట్రాయ్ మై బాడీ, బట్ యూ కెనాట్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ మై మైండ్ అంటారు. మీరంటే రచనలు తీసుకోండి, పేద మైండ్ వితౌట్ ఫ్రీడమ్. మీరు అలాగే తీసుకోండి, ఆల్వేస్ అవర్ మైండ్ ఈజ్ కండిషన్, నాట్ ఎన్లైటెన్ అంటారు. ఇలా ఎక్కడ చూసారు సివిల్ రీతిలో చూస్తుంటారు సేమ్ అక్కడ కూడా అంటారు. సో అందుకని ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ అర్థం కావాలంటే ఇలాంటి జడ్జెస్ జుడిషియరీ టాప్ జుడిషియరీ చూస్తే వాళ్ళకి ఆ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్ అర్థం అవుతుంది. దయచేసి మై రిక్వెస్ట్ టు ఆల్ పేరెంట్స్ ఇస్ you give that freedom to your children. That's very important. Anyhow, thank you very much for answering this wonderful opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you for the participation, sir. And highly honored to request Honorable Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu to make his speech. Could you please, sir?
Narasimha Rao garu, the founder, chairman of this glorious institution. Sri Vijay Prakash, the director, the very worthy successor, running the institution, wonderful. Professor M. Naidu garu, the former Vice Chancellor of Nandaya University. He's my friend, my guru, and also my Naidu paper. He always propagates me out of his love. Then my dear friend and one of the most eminent advocates of AP High Court, Sri Chidambaram, and my friend who is among you, Sri Mandana, Suryanaran Rasgadu. All the invitees, my gurus that have been sitting over there, the teachers, and the students like me, and all the supporting staff over here, my Independence Day greetings. Please let me know how many of you have seen Care of Kancharapalam. Could you raise? Most of you have seen. Now why on an Independent Day a jet from Bombay is talking about Care of Kancharapalam, a movie? It's sort of a paradox. You know, when it comes to a movie, you could see top heroes movies getting released. There'll be an advertisement onslaught, and all media, every source will propagate, watch this movie, the best movie, so much of action, so much of expenditure, so many countries they've shot, all those things. And you go with a lot of expectations, and most of the times the movie doesn't meet the expectations, it fails. And a movie like Care of Kancharapalam, nobody knew until it was released, it had no expectations, it succeeded. So to be a successful speaker, if you have a lot of introduction, you are bound to disappoint. That's what my friend Sri Naidu, Professor Naidu has done. He has given me a lot of introduction. I'm not a star movie, I am Care of Kancharapalam with very humble origins. Please accept that. Well, this is a very solemn occasion, and holding a constitutional office, I'm supposed to interact with all of you about the importance of independence. It's something like you have a lot of air to breathe and you never think of air. Only when you don't have it, you gasp for breath, as recently COVID patients gasp for oxygen. You come to know the value of the air. So is the case with freedom. We all have it, maybe too much in abundance. And we have to be on guard, never to have it deprived. That's the very purpose of any Independence Day celebration, to remind ourselves of the importance of freedom. True, we have got our freedom from the foreign yoke or the ruler. But what best form of liberation from slavery or bondage or control from others can we have other than freedom from our ignorance? Anything that helps us get rid of our ignorance gives us freedom. That freedom of knowledge gives us future. And don't you think this is the institution that is giving that freedom from ignorance? Don't you think this is the best independent institution for generations to come? I don't see a greater temple than a school or a college. So that's how we have to celebrate our independence by dedicating ourselves to the cause of learning. And this is the institution that's been in the forefront on that mission. I appreciate the management on that count. Now, I'll be addressing very short. I'll address on 4 aspects. One, let me talk about this institution. Next, about the institution makers that are the teachers. Then, the beneficiaries and the future of the nation, the students. Nasiruddin Garu, when I was practicing, I had a client. That client had a couple of education institutions. But he was a non-believer. He is no more. He was a non-believer. He never offered any namaste to God. One day I asked him, when he came to my office, curiously, no elderly person, I used to call him Anna. Anna, why don't you pray to God? He said, why should I pray? I don't commit any sin. I wanted some explanation from him. He said, I never tell a lie. And through my education institutions, I've been educating many children. And what better purpose can any religion or any spirituality have than imparting knowledge, jnana? We call jnana the equivalence of moksha. That's why when I'm doing the God's work, why should I pray? You are doing God's work, all of you. All of you are doing God's work. Now let me talk about the teachers. We all believe that we have had so many Bharat Ratnas this country has. Do you think that Bharat Ratnas have been born? No. Bharat Ratnas have not been born. They've been made. Made by whom? I'll share a couple of examples. Who made Bharat Ratnas? You know, in Rameshwaram, many years ago, in a school, a science teacher was imparting a lesson, teaching the students. Then, he told a lesson about aerodynamics. Right. And when the teacher asked them, have you understood the lesson? All of them said yes. But one boy stood up and said, no sir, I have not understood. He tried again. The boy said the same thing, I haven't understood. So evening, he told all the students, let's go to the beach. They went to the beach. There he showed them the seagulls, the birds in the sea, seagulls, how they are flying, how they are taking off, how they were landing, everything. Then he explained aerodynamics in that sense. And that boy grew up. He not only understood seagulls' flight, not only understood the aerodynamics, but also the paths of missiles. The father of missile technology in India, Abdul Kalam, our former president, he was made by teachers. You know Ambedkar? His father, impoverished conditions, a mason by work, had about, I don't know exactly, 4 or 8 children. He was the last among them. Wife died. The children were destitute. Nobody to support. He got him admitted into a school where he was not allowed to touch water. Somebody had to pour it into his mouth or into his hands. Then one teacher took pity on this boy because he was brilliant, and to get the stigma out of it, he gave his surname to that man. That man, a teacher, was Ambedkar. That's how Bhimrao has become Bhimrao Ambedkar. And that teacher inspired him to be a nation builder, and he has become a Bharata Ratna. Again, a teacher made him. Let me tell you about one last example. A boy in Bombay wanted to learn cricket. So, he went to a coach. He started teaching that boy. One day the boy did not come for the coaching. The next day he came. The teacher asked him, "What happened to you?" He said, "Sir, yesterday I had fever." The teacher slapped him, the coach rather, slapped him. He said, "Yesterday you were watching another cricket match of seniors of your college or school. Remember, don't ever watch somebody's performance. Let this whole nation watch your performance." And he took that lesson to heart, and he became Sachin Tendulkar, and he has become Bharata Ratna. Again, a teacher made. Madams and sirs, yours is the noblest profession. Yours is the noblest profession. Once in an ashram, a guru started teaching all arts, and the students were learning. Even the king's son was also there. So one day the king's son asked the teacher, Guruji, you are more skillful than my father, and you have more knowledge than my father. Why haven't you become the king? Why is my father a king? And the Guru told him, when the occasion comes, I will tell you the reason. One day in the ashram, a cow went missing. So he asked them to go and search for that one. It was already dark. Then the king's son asked, how could we go and search in the darkness? He said, no, I'll send a candle. What do you call? A fire, torch, right? A torch. So somebody was carrying the torch. These people, the students searched for that and they located. They brought it back to the ashram. The next day morning, Guru asked them, how did you find the cow, missing cow? They said, with the help of the torch. Then who carried the torch? They said, we didn't notice because the torch was in front, the person who carried was behind, he was in the darkness. And that is Guru. He said, the one who carried the torch is the Guru. That's why my pranams to all of you, because you are the true nation builders. Let me come to myself, that is the students. We have heard about any number of elocutions lecturing us on the importance of freedom, lecturing us on the importance of independence and every value we cherish. They say that you should be selfless and you should be serving the nation and everything. But I request all the students, my friends, to be absolutely selfish. Don't think of big ideals of serving the nation, reforming the country, sacrificing for the country. Please, let's not touch all of them. Simply be selfish. How could you contribute to the nation's building by being selfish? Let me tell you, I have started Rajamandri, stayed with my friend last night, and I was coming over here. I saw a barren patch of land. I wanted the students to make it a forest. What will they do? Please, anybody answer. I have found a barren stretch of land with no tree at all. I want that to be made a forest. what will you do? Could anybody answer me, please? Anybody can shout. You will plant trees. You sow the seeds. Then what comes? The trees come. I am talking of the forest. Madam, you are talking about seeds and plants. How come? Because all trees put together becomes a forest. All very successful, selfish people coming together without any failure, that is the nation building. Right? Be selfish. Never accept defeat. Never accept to be second best. Earlier we all believed that somebody could be naturally talented. Somebody has special ability either to read, to write, to dominate in the examinations, to pass them, to secure a future, even to stand up and deliver. Now neuroscience has debunked the theory of intelligence. There is no such thing as inherent ability of a person. Every quality can be acquired. If you read a book like Malcolm Gladwell's, he has written a series of books, and one of the books is Outliers. And that book debunks the theory of genius. And you know, when it comes to a very famous music composer from Germany, Beethoven, if I am correct the name, he was a child prodigy. By the age of 6 years, he composed music and he conducted orchestra. The whole world praised him as a child prodigy. Please believe me, child prodigies are not there, they are just made. You know what happened? His father was a music teacher. When his boy was 2 years, he initiated into music, started music. By the time he was 6 years old, he had practiced violin for 3,000 hours. We forgot his practice 3 years others. We only remember he was 6 years. That's what we thought it was a genius. No. It is the practice that made him a genius. That's why we have got the base, the foundation of this institution. You have got the fundamental teachers to help you. And if you can spend time with the task you have in your hand, and you will be a good, you will be an Einstein, you will be anything. So don't accept defeat. Don't accept Brahma that someone is defeating you. None is defeating you. You are somebody. In American schools, they teach the philosophy of somebody. You know what's meant by somebody? If you are somebody, you are descriptionless. You are a nobody. A person among the multitude. But your Dama of the brilliance of people has a unique brilliance. So are you. You are as unique as your Dama. That's why those who say you are not somebody, you are nothing. Believe in that. Please tell me one more simple question so that I can feel encouraged. Under a clear night with no clouds in the sky, you start counting all the stars. You don't start counting all the stars. How much time will it take to count all the stars that's visible to the naked eye? Is it days, months, years, centuries, or impossible? What would be your answer, please? A little bit louder, please. Lot of time. Months, years, centuries, or impossible? Impossible. Thank you. Yes, please. All night. Thank you. We are a fast talk library. Anything else? Well, it takes 3.5 years. That's what one mathematician has said. What we believe or believe to be an impossible task will be done in real level. That is the power of incremental learning. That's the power of incremental learning. Right? There is one lady, Nisha Roy Chocolate. She is from Lucknow. She did her MBA from Lucknow University. And in Hindi, complete medium was Hindi. Her family migrated, shifted over to Delhi. She applied for a job, went to all interviews. And she couldn't speak in sentence of English. So she was rejected. They all assigned her to learn some English and stuff. She came back to rejected. And she started learning. And she developed her own methods. And lo and behold, in 1 year's time, she has learned by heart the whole dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary of 1,600 pages. She holds Guinness Book of World Record. 1 year ago, a lady who didn't know even the word of the pages, just she wanted to prove to the world that the power of reading and learning. I'll finally tell about one more child. His name is Joshua Fire. He's a journalist. Every year, memory championships happen. And that year, in New York, memory championships took place. So his newspaper competition to cover the tournament. So he went over there. Every time, every day, he started watching the performance and reporting back the newspaper. Was right. But we want to know deeper about the whole processes, so that we can find better, extend it, so that the management can appreciate the reasons behind it. So he made friends with one of the participants. His name is Naidu. He's from England. He asked him, how can we do it? He said, so this is technique. Then this Joshua Fire said, everybody when he moves with say I can't give you my session. Be with me 1 year. I'll make you a memory champion. This is Joshua Fire, took it seriously, resigned his job, and went along with that head. He trained him for 1 year. Lo and behold, the next year, he was American memory champion and world runner-up. Again, the power of incremental learning. That's why, my dear students, rather like me, don't ever be afraid of the task. Break that into pieces. And every day, you are seeing the moral stories, the tortoise and hare. కుందేలు తాబేలు కథ విన్నారా? ఇంతసేపు నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడలేదు. నా చదువంతా తెలుగులోనే. ఎందుకు మాట్లాడలేదంటే తెలుగులో ఒక సామెత ఉంది. అమ్మ పుట్టింటి కథ మేనమాకు తెలియదా అనేసి. నేను మీలా తిట్టుకుంటా, వీడు చెప్పేది ఇంగ్లీష్ అనుకుంటారేమో, బాంబే నుంచి కదా కొంచెం ఇంగ్లీష్ మాట్లాడతామని, అందుకని నేను లేదు. Well, we are seeing the history. Always, తాబేలు గెలిచాయి కానీ కుందేలు గెలవలేదు. This world belongs to those who work hard. This world belongs to those who dedicate themselves. When you are somebody, when you are unique and nobody can match you, and you have an institution to support, the teachers to guide, and you have the energy to learn, what stops you to be the top of the personality? At the top of the world as an achiever, to be a Bharat Ratna. Who knows how many of you would be tomorrow by the time the reckoning comes. So, take the opportunity, seize it by its horns, learn with the help of the institution and the teachers, and make India proud. Then only the true independence comes to us. Thank you.
For your words of wisdom, sir, I request Abhinav, Joint Secretary, Shri Seshadri Prakash, sir, to address the gathering.
Namaste everyone. Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu garu, our good friend Sri Mutyal Naidu garu, Professor Mutyal Naidu garu, and other guest of today, High Court Advocate Chidambaram garu, and revered judges and well-learned people, our founder Narasimha garu, and all teachers, students, and viewers online. I should really thank Professor Mutyal Naidu garu for arranging such a wonderful program to all of us. In fact, we always have such wonderful speeches on our Teachers' Day, sir. We got our Teachers' Day just 20 days before. I think a wonderful speech to all of our teachers. I think whoever has really listened to it, it's like fire being lit. Thank you very much, sir. I think, and really, the world belongs to people who work hard. And I strongly believe that all of you are going to take this message forward and work towards the real freedom. And as I know, sir is running out of time. I don't want to take much of your time, sir. I just wanted to close with one of our greatest poets. He's also called as Abhinav Nannaya, Rayapal Subbarao garu. Ledura itvanti bhudevi endu. Ledura itvanti bhudevi endu. Ledura manavanti paurulu inkendu. Suryuni velturu sokunandaka. Odalu jandalu ఆడునందాక అందాక గల ఈ అనంత భూతలిని మన భూమి వంటి చల్లని తల్లి లేదు. ఆల్ దట్ ఇస్ ట్రూ. మన భూతల్లి వంటి తల్లి ఇంకెక్కడా లేదు. ఒక్కటే మనం చేయాల్సింది ఏంటంటే ఇటువంటి పౌరులు ఇంకెక్కడా లేరు అని మనం ప్రూవ్ చేసేటట్టు మనం మసలుకోగలగాలి. ఐ థింక్ వీ షుడ్ ఆల్ స్ట్రైవ్ ఫర్ దట్ అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ రియల్ ఫ్రీడమ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ సార్. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ గ్రేసింగ్ us and we really cherish this in our history. Thank you.
Thank you for your motivating message, Sam. As we all know that a winner never quits, a quitter never wins. We have to keep trying to achieve our goals. I am now highly pleased to request today's chief guest, Honorable Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu, to honor the prize winners. I request my friend Shiana to announce the prize winners. Done to the best outgoing student of Sri Prakash Vidyaniketan. Best Student Award for Sri Prakash Vidyaniketan, Patna, 2019 to 2020, backed by the T. Harsha Babu.
At the outset, I would like to thank Honorable Justice Dama Seshadri Naidu and Professor Naidu for their gracious presence and their valuable messages. I would like to thank our beloved Joint Secretary, Sri Prakash Education Institution, Sri Prakash Sir, for organizing Campus Independence Day celebration.